Welcome, excuse me. Welcome to codezing.org. It's a level 1 project called Dictionary. You can find it at codezing.org/dictionary. Always big with super creative names here. So if you go to the website codezing.org, level 1, find dictionary. So I made a dictionary of a dictionary because I think it kind of makes sense. I mean, they name these things dictionaries. They kind of work like a dictionary in my mind. So I figured we'll code up a dictionary that works like a dictionary, and hopefully that'll explain dictionaries. So we saw earlier, hopefully you know, lists are made with the square brackets. Dictionaries are made with the curly braces. And the main function of a dictionary, unlike a list, is to create a key and then a colon, and then multiple values, well, at least one value, but you can have multiple values after your key. And so they create ways of looking up information different than lists. And dictionaries can really hold much more complex information than lists. Like, lists are great, but dictionaries are really powerful, especially as you get to much more complex data. You know, if you're thinking about even like a classroom of students, right? And each student has a name, and they have an age and a birth date, and you want that kind of classified by student, and then maybe they have multiple classes, and they're getting grades on assignments within the classes. All of that stuff would be much better organized in some sort of a dictionary rather than lists, or a bunch of series of lists would be kind of difficult. So we're going to make a dictionary that works like a dictionary. So this one's kind of cool. If you plug in, I only put 4 entries in my dictionary, so it's super small dictionary. But if you put in cat and submit that, it will look up and give you all of the stuff that I stored about cat in my dictionary. So it gives you the word, the part of speech, a definition, and an example, which is usually kind of what happens in a dictionary. Obviously, you could have multiple definitions, and so these are going to be within the dictionaries. You have a key and then multiple values. Sometimes you just need one value per key, but usually you're going to need more values for each key. So in this case, our key is the word, and then in the list we're going to put the part of speech, the definition, and the example. And so when you look up the key, you'll get each of these items back. So let's look at the code, and hopefully you'll see what we got going on here. Let's copy this business and throw it into Spider so we can start working with it. There's, what did I printed quite a bit of stuff here. Let's just run through it, see what's going on. Here's a list of words in my dictionary. It lists all the words, and then type in the word you would like to look up. I will look up Python, and it says Python, and it's a noun, and it's a computer programming language. I am learning to write a computer program in Python is my example sentence. Thank you for using my dictionary. Goodbye. So, kind of cool. I kind of like it. I don't know. I just like programming, I guess. So I like all these, even these silly ones. Up here, I put in this hashtag. So if you haven't seen the hashtag before, it's a comment. So this part, and you can see even Spider kind of grayed it out because it's just a comment. And so a good thing to do, especially if you expect other people to use your code as well, is to put in comments and explain things, right? So this code is a dictionary made using dictionaries. And, you know, you can even put in more stuff, like author is codezing, right? You can put stuff in so that people have an idea. You know, even like the, Python version, 3.6 or whatever your version is. You can add a lot of stuff at the top that helps people use your code or understand it. You can see the comment I put in here is supposed to help you know what's up with my dictionary. So I put a dictionary in, and you can see it's structured this way. Word, and then a colon, and then part of speech is the first item in the list, then the definition is the second item in the list, and then the example sentence is the last item in the list. Because maybe if you just looked at the dictionary, you'd be like, noun, computer programming language, like I don't understand what this is. So that's just kind of an indication of what's the structure that I intended for my dictionary. so that way people can maybe understand a little better. So, use comments liberally to help people use your stuff. I think most of the stuff I write doesn't have many comments in it because, you're kind of just learning. I don't really intend other people to, really dig in. It's fairly simple code, so I don't put a lot of comments in, but as you're learning, it'd be good if you added comments to the code for tips, tricks, things that help you. So that when you come back to your code, even, sometimes I find I write code and then come back to it months later and you kind of forget exactly what you were doing. So maybe I need to use comments more. I should take my own advice and use comments more. So dictionary. So this is a dictionary I created. So dictionary is the name of my dictionary, and that is equal to, and I'm building my library here. Or my dictionary, I'm sorry, dictionary. So I start with the curly braces, and then I'm putting each item in my dictionary. And I'm following this structure that I created. So I'm having each word, and then a colon. So these are the keys, right? And then these are the values after the key. And my values are more than one value, so I'm putting them in a list. And so I have 4 words, Python, dog, cat, dictionary, and then I have the parts of speech, the definition, and an example for each. And then you close off your dictionary with curly braces. And so once my dictionary is created, I don't know, what if I just, whoops, what if I just print dictionary after that? Because I wonder what it actually shows up like. I would imagine it just prints out this thing, but let's see. Yeah, so you can see if you just print the dictionary, it just dumps it out there, right? It's kind of unusable. It just throws it out there without even the tabbing and stuff. So not much use printing out just the dictionary. So what I did is I created a list of the keys. So I'm taking dictionary, which is the name of my dictionary, and if you do dot keys with the open and close bracket, it will make a nice little list of all the keys for you. So I'm making a list of the dictionary keys, and that is this. So this is how it knows what is in my dictionary. So it automatically looks through all the keys and makes a nice little list. Here's a list of the words in my dictionary, and then it prints out this word list. So word list is the name of my variable, and that's going to be a list of the dictionary keys. You could do, to make it a little more fancy schmancy, because this came out a little, not super cool. You can do like, whoa, keyboard took a flip on me. Let's see. All right, so for item in word list, print item. So this is going to loop through that list, and instead of throwing it out here in a list, which looks, if you know Python, you're like, oh, that's a list. But if you don't, like, I don't know what's going on here. Why is it in comments, and why are there commas? So if we do it that way, it'll print out the items one by one. Let me kill that. All right. So let's do it this way now, and see, here's a list of the words in my dictionary. Now I did Python dog cat dictionary. So instead of throwing it out in a list with the commas and the parentheses, when you do a loop like that for item in word list, it's going to do each item in the word list and print them out to the screen. So it looks a little prettier. I think maybe we just made a nice little improvement to our code. Type in the word you would like to look up. I'd like to look up dog. And then it prints out what we have here. So type the word that you want to look up. So that's just the input. And so the user will type in the word they want to look up. It'll be assigned to the variable word. And then the next thing we're going to do is check if the word is in the dictionary, right? Because this input is not restrictive in any way. People can enter whatever they want, right? I can enter blob, right? Let's say could not find the word in my dictionary. Input is case sensitive, right? So blob was not one of the words. So that's what this if and else are going to do. So if and else. So it says if word, which is what they entered, is in dictionary, which it's just going to check the keys when you do it that way. So if word in dictionary actually just looks through the keys and tries to find the word you typed in. if it does find that word, right, if word in dictionary evaluates as true, then it'll go through and look up the dictionary stuff. But if it's not, right, if like blob was not in the dictionary keys, then it's going to do the else, and it's going to print, could not find that word in my dictionary, input is case sensitive. And actually at first I had just written that, and then I realized, oh, actually it's case sensitive too. So if you typed in capital P with Python, it couldn't find it. So I added that little nugget of helpful info there. So let's see what happens if I type in one that does exist. So let's do cat again. And you can see, so I entered cat, and it is checking. The word is in dictionary, true. So list of details equals dictionary, and then square brackets word. So this looks a little cuckoo, but what it's really doing is it's taking word, right, which is what I entered, and it is going to look in the dictionary and look through all the keys, and when it finds that word, it is going to give back the value. And my value is a list, so that's why I called it list of details. If there was only one value associated with the key, it would just give you the value back. But it's giving me my list of values because my dictionary is kind of a complex dictionary and has a list of values for each key. So this is how you find items in a dictionary when you know what the key is that you want to look up. So it's looking up the key. What was my key? Cat. Right. So I input cat. It's looking for cat in the keys of the dictionary. It finds it, and it returns this list. And so if I did print list of details, let's run it like that, and you'll see that what that returns there is this, right? So it returns the actual list. And I don't want to just dump out a list for people because, you know, I could. I'd be like, you looked up cat and then it dumps this out, and they don't know what to do with this information as a user. So what it's going to do is split that list out into its three components. And the three components, right, which I outlined up here, is part of speech, definition, and an example. So part of speech is going to be this new list I created, the 0th item, which is the first item. List of details 1 is going to be the second, a small domesticated carnivorous mammal. And my example sentence is going to be list of details 2. So if you watch the one on lists, you would know the first item in a list is the 0th item, and then it counts up from there, which takes a little getting used to, but that's just how it is. So now I have part of speech is equal to this first item now. Definition is going to be equal to the small domesticated animal. And example sentence is my cat is chasing a mouse. And so now that I have those variables assigned, I'm going to print them out. So I'm printing word, colon, and then word, part of speech, definition. You can see my naming convention was spot on in matching those up. You know, you could, if you wanted to, I assigned them to variables and then printed out the variable, but you could jump that part, right, and just throw out this. But I don't know, I thought it made it a little clearer to know that list of details 1 is the definition, and to rename it as a variable. But you could, if you wanted to, kind of jump through here. You could just do that. I mean, it shortens the code a little bit, but in my mind it makes it a little bit unclear as a code reader. But you can see it did it just fine. Right? So part of speech and then comma, give me the 0th item in the list of details. Right? It did that just fine. Prints a little space, and then thank you for using my dictionary, goodbye. And as we talked about, this else statement is if somebody does something that's not in the dictionary. Obviously, you could keep adding to the dictionary, right? If you made a new entry, right? So every dictionary entry is separated by a comma, and then now we're going to put our key, which maybe could be, I don't know, computer, and colon, and we're going to make our list. And so we have our part of speech, what is computer is a noun, and a definition, a cool object. I don't know. And example sentence, computers compute. All right, bad example sentence, but trying to make this happen a little quicker. All right, so computers compute, and now let's run it. What do we got? Hey, it added computer to my thing. All right, here's a list of words in my dictionary. Now I have computer, right? Because this is creating a list of all the keys. So when you add a new key, it automatically includes it in the list. It's also going to loop through and print that out because it's included in the list now. And if I look up computer, what do I get? I get word computer, part of speech noun, definition cool object, example sentence, computers compute. Thank you for using my dictionary. So you can keep adding and adding and adding to the dictionary. I think the structure of an actual dictionary is very good for making a computer dictionary. But, think through something else you could put in a dictionary. You'll see in some of the more complex coding examples that we have on the site, you'll see me using dictionaries. A lot of even like database structures are done in kind of a pseudo dictionary. JSON looks a lot like a dictionary, which is another way of holding information. So good to know for sure. I hope you had fun with this one, and keep adding to it. If you come up with a really cool one, or you build a big dictionary, or you build another really cool example of how to use a dictionary, please share it with us. info@codezing.org. I'll give you full credit. Put your name in there in big, bold, highlighted letters so everybody knows all the hard work you did and can learn from you. So if you have any questions, you can add them to the comments on the video or email us, info@codezing.org, and we'll try to answer those as well. So have fun playing around with it, and we'll see you on the next one.